Yes, today it's the 27th of June 2024, and I just want to have a quick look at YouTube and Google and look at the history of them because I'm old enough, obviously, I'm in my 40s, so I'm old enough to remember the internet before Google and YouTube existed. I think a lot of the youth seem to believe that YouTube and Google had some sort of important, had some sort of important role in the creation of the internet or the growth of the internet, but they really didn't. The internet was actually already being used, and there was already search engines such as AOL, MSN, Yahoo, and DuckDuckGo and Ask Jeeves. There was plenty of search engines before YouTube, before Google ever come along. I mean, and there wasn't bad search engines. There was nothing really wrong with them. I think the only way that Google beat them in the end was because Google just was a lot less cluttered and a little bit more simple to use, and people are pretty simple creatures, and that's what people gravitated towards. And unfortunately, somehow, that led to this massive parasitic, demonic entity that we've got running, calling itself Google now. And these people have also got control of YouTube and Android and all sorts of different services and websites that are used by potentially billions of people every week. So, these people didn't have any important role in the creation of the internet nor the growth of the internet. They really just come along and just taken over certain things later. I mean, like, they didn't actually invent YouTube. Google didn't. They bought it from an Australian, from a couple of Australians who actually invented it in a garage. So, YouTube wasn't an idea that was put out by Google. Google don't come out with actual original ideas themselves. They just steal people's ideas and, like parasites do. They take all they suck the blood out of everything. That's what they do, and that's what they've done with the internet. Because even though the internet has seen a lot of improvements over the years, for example, I remember a time when it used to take, 3 or 4 hours to download a 30-second video that would then still have bad quality to it. Like, so really watching videos and stuff on the internet back in them days was pretty much impossible to do. So the internet has had massive improvements in the way that you can watch videos and stuff, and there's lots of TV streaming services, apps and everything like that. But then the downside of the internet nowadays is the information is not allowed to flow freely like it used to be back in the 90s and the early 2000s. I mean, I remember a time on the internet where you could Google anything and you get information about it, and a lot of this information was information that many people wasn't aware of, and it was really easily accessible just through a through a search, through AOL search or MSN search or anything like that. You could get some really interesting things. I mean, it was full of interesting places to read, and a lot of that has gone, and this was all mainly independent bloggers or just people that was just wanting to say stuff or explain things. And it wasn't like it is now, where you go for anything now and you put almost through to the established order again now, like the mainstream media. And you put in health questions and it will direct you straight to the NHS and stuff. Back in these days, there was nothing like that. It was just all contributed by pretty much normal people, and in my opinion it was a lot better for it. Not so much because of the information was always accurate, but people are quite intelligent. They can work out by doing extra research what's accurate and what's not. We don't need mainstream media, or at least we shouldn't need mainstream media to come and tell us what's right and wrong. And we definitely don't need disgusting parasitic demonic reptilian corporations such as Google to do it as well. I mean, Google have promoted ridiculous and extreme ideas and ideologies now for years, and anybody that doesn't subscribe to these ridiculous and extreme ideologies that Google and Reddit and Facebook and Snapchat and TikTok and a whole host of other corporations are promoting, anybody that don't agree with that now is is either transphobic, homophobic, or just full of hate. I mean, that's what they do, and they say that, you know, they accuse you of being hate-filled for not subscribing to stupid ideas like women can have penises and stuff. I mean, these stupid ideas that they try to promote all the time, ideas that make no sense and that 99% of people totally disagree with, and the only people that do agree with them on these issues is a bunch of idiots that have been brainwashed by the education system, or even worse, by the lunatic parents, into believing this stuff. I mean, at the end of the day, I've always said, just to clear things up, because sometimes people do accuse me of being transphobic. Reddit have actually banned me from being on Reddit because they think that I'm transphobic. They've accused me of being transphobic. But the reason that they think that is because I don't believe in the science to it, which actually, upon further research, I later discovered that nearly 60% of scientists don't believe in it, and another 30% of them, near enough, are not sure. So it's, or 20% are not sure or something. So it's a very small proportion of scientists that actually do believe in this kind of nonsense that is being promoted by the education system and by the mainstream media. The fact that there can be like over 100 different genders and everything like that, it's all a load of nonsense, and it's just another distraction from reality. And instead of debating important issues like poverty and like the fact that the world is being run by a very small group of corrupt, greedy, demonic individuals, you know, these issues get swept under the rug, and you know, the fact that there's wars being fought and Britain is supplying weapons to Saudi Arabia and Israel and Ukraine at the cost of the British taxpayer in some cases. I mean, you know, all these issues are being swept under the rug because we're too bother arguing about whether men or whether women can have penises or not. But the truth is, if you've got a penis, you're a male. If you've not got a penis, you're probably a female, or you're a male that's being castrated. It's as simple as that. Stop making a simple subject complicated. But YouTube tried to, or Google tried to present themselves like they're some sort of justice warriors, like social justice warriors. But when it comes to actually human sex trafficking, they turn a blind eye to that sort of thing. They're not interested in that. They're not interested in human sex trafficking. They're not interested in actually investigating cases of human sex trafficking. And they actually paid off one of the people who worked for them, a man called Andy Rubin, who was the inventor apparently of Android, or at least he involved in the invention. He was the owner of Android, I think, and he was actually accused of human sex trafficking. Actually, not even accused of it, admitted to it. And Google actually covered it up for him. They covered the case up. They removed the search. They removed the results from the search engines and from Google News and everything like that. And they pretty much kept it under the wraps for him. Obviously, they can't completely keep it under the, you know, completely contain it, but they've done a pretty good job of containing it, like they do a good job of containing a lot of information. But, you know, so they're total hypocrites, like I say. They claim to be social justice warriors, but when there is actually somebody that actually needs help and protecting from somebody that works for them, they don't protect them. They actually paid off Andy Rubin, rewarded him for his actions, even though there was no legal demand for them to do that. And they pretty much tried to cover it up for him as well. They're just a bunch of absolute scumbags. They don't pay no tax in the United Kingdom. They operate in Ireland to make sure they don't have to pay tax in the United Kingdom. They trying to manipulate and interfere with British politics at the moment by trying to silence Reform by taking some of their adverts down. They put them back up after a couple of hours after they was caught out. But that just shows what their intentions are. And that's what they do, and that's what they're used to being able to do. Obviously, people like Nigel Farage have got the money to fight them in court, and, you know, the support as well, and what's it called, the distribution, like, you know, people see him. Whereas people like me, I haven't got the finances and the resources to take people like YouTube or Google to court, even though what they're doing to people like me and thousands of other people on the internet is actually illegal. oppressing somebody's freedom of speech and freedom of expression is actually illegal, whether you just because you disagree with them. I mean, you don't have to agree with me, but to try to actually oppress any kind of opposition to you on the internet is actually illegal. And if it's not illegal, then it should be illegal, because this is the problem with the world at the moment, is that Google, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, all these, Reddit and all this, they've all got the same ideologies and they're all ramming them down our throats at the same time. So everybody is being subjected to the absolute bullshit, obviously, and them covering up historical information, and they're manipulating the stupid, and the stupid are actually buying this bullshit. But as far as I'm concerned, in my opinion, the people that run Google should be treated as terrorists to the United Kingdom, because that's what they are. They're information terrorists. They are deliberately oppressing the flow of information in the United Kingdom to protect the established order in the United Kingdom. That's what they've been doing since day one, and that's probably what they're there for. And you know for a fact that them doing the same sort of thing in the United States and all around the world where they're allowed to operate, at least, because that's what they do. That's what they're there for. So these people need to be stopped, and like I say, them taking important issues and covering them up with stupid issues, with meaningless bullshit, like the gender debate and all this sort of shit, and accusing everybody of being racist. Everybody that don't think like them is racist. Everybody that doesn't agree with immigration is racist. It's like, it's not racist. If things are impacting people's lives negatively, people ain't going to like it. It's not about whether they're racist or not. It's about the fact it's having a negative impact on other people's lives. If it was having a positive impact or no impact at all, then people probably wouldn't react to it. But because of the situation in Britain now, with the benefits and the housing crisis and the NHS doesn't work, nothing in Britain works properly, and the government are pretty much protected from criticism by the people that run the internet, Reddit, and Google and Facebook and all this shit. They're protected by them from criticism of it, because if there wasn't, there'd be absolutely loads of criticism on the internet too. Now, I noticed recently when I was looking for advice on the internet about an housing problem, a section about me being given a Section 21. So when I was Googling Section 21, I noticed that nearly every single video is told from the landlord's point of view. There's barely a single tenant on there talking about their experience, and I thought, well, that's weird, because it's having a much more negative impact on the tenants than it is on the landlords most of the time. I mean, obviously there is cases where landlords will have big problems with the tenants, but in most cases it's actually the tenants having problems with the landlords, and I'm not being able to do nothing about it because I don't even need to give you a reason. But like I say, the information wasn't on YouTube from a tenant's perspective. It was all from a landlord's perspective. And that's pretty much how the internet works now. It's pretty much anything that's not there to either help the established order or oppress the masses. That's all there is now. That's all that they're interested in on the internet. It's either there to help the established order or to oppress the masses. There's no free flow of information anymore. The masses are not allowed to spread their ideas freely. The information is being oppressed by disgusting parasites like Google. But like I say, these people cannot be trusted because they are parasites, and they have covered up human sex trafficking scandals, and they don't pay no tax in the United Kingdom. They take full advantage of every single tax loophole that the governments have created for them, and that's part of the deal for them actually doing this, the fact that they'll get tax cuts and tax breaks and all sorts of things. I mean, even funding and stuff like that for certain things that will be given by the British and foreign governments all around the world. These people need to be stopped, but most people unfortunately too busy arguing about the gender debate and everything like that to actually start looking at these much more important issues that the world is facing. But thank you anyway, thanks for watching, I'm out.